Hello ladies and gentlemen, or hello again, depending whether you actually saw the previous stream, which had some microphone problems. We are here with Cremember and Megac1, and it should be a good game because Cremember, as you know, is very highly ranked. Also, the map is a very interesting one, Tombs of Kesorak, and it's quite a wide map. So from southmost village to northmost village, the distance is absolutely ridiculous. So what has happened so far is basically remember abusing the mobility of ghosts on this map, and Undead had a wolf, I dare say a wolf-centric army. So he was trying to abuse the power of wolves, but it seems ghosts win with the help of a few adepts. So you can see here 2-5, so this might turn out to be a very quick game. We have 5 units here which have fed mightily on Orcs, so we get 8, 2 times 8, 1 times 8, so we have basically 4 kills on this flank alone, and the experience goes into 2 ghosts, which is terrible news for our Orc player. That's the worst kind of unit to fight against, as Orc, maybe archers would dare say differently. However, 50% defense, I would say it's pretty good, and the retaliation versus an archer is absolutely ridiculous. So my if I were to bet in this match on the winner, my money would be on Cremember, not just because of the rank, but purely on the current state of the game. There is, however, a ray of hope for our Orc player. He did manage to kill a unit top, so he has free access. As you can see here, he has free access to this village. So if he's going to get it, and it does look like he's going to get it soon, then it will be really difficult for Undead to come all the way top and redirect his forces there and try to gain back control of these villages. This being said, you could argue, okay, but there are ghosts on the field. Yeah, sure, there are ghosts on the field, but ghosts are not that good at fighting villaged grunts, right? So interesting comment here from observers, like Orc is winning. Again, there is a saving grace here top. However, I disagree with this. I feel that Undead is in an absolutely fantastic position, and if he could play in a Drake style, where you have a deadly mass of units walking around the map, killing unsuspecting Orcs, keep gaining experience, right? Keep creating those level 2 ghosts, then I don't see how Undead can be stopped. The only problem with this kind of strategy is that Undead does not have any kind of healing. However, if you do have 2 or 3 level 2 ghosts, I believe they are called, I'm not sure what they are called, I'm going to find out in a second here. So wraiths, if he gets 2 or 3 wraiths, they do have drain, so they do heal, so it's kind of a healing mechanism for the most important units, right? So it is entirely possible. Undead at this point, if he keeps running into these units and clearing them out, then he does not need to regain control of the northmost villages. However, there's always the risk of him being overrun. If Orc does get comfortable control of all these 3 villages, that's quite a sizable advantage to have. If, however, Undead manages to recruit some adepts and regain control of this village and then control of this village, being 1 village behind is not that bad. However, if he does push here, discontinue his push here, he would definitely get control of the southmost village of the Orcs. So things would balance themselves out eventually. But let's see here. There is a sizable orc army for 4 units. He can't really expose this bat on 50% on this village. He needs to be careful with it. It's a bat which is about to be a level 1 bat, so it's about to level up again. Really important to manage this experience, but it kind of feels that, you know, with day coming and with Orc parking himself in these villages, or 2 of these villages, it does feel like Orc is in a great position to replenish and try another attack at night, whereas Undead, I don't know, I don't think he can replenish as quickly as Orc can. So for example, Orc can recruit twice and then twice again, and then he suddenly has an army that is capable of dealing with this adept aggression, right? He just needs to recruit grunts and he will be fine. He needs to throw in some archers into the mix as well for these ghosts, at least as a deterrent. But if given a bit of time, 2 turns, I'm guessing that Orc can replenish south. The only problem here is with this plan is that it will be a localized replenishment, right, because of how wide this map is. So there will be lots of units here being recruited, whereas these ghosts, they do have the potential to, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they do have the potential to pillage a bit. So it's back and forth, right? What does this group of unit do? So more ghosts. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel that getting this village here would have been a more important task rather than recruiting ghosts. Ghosts are great in keeping the advantage you already have, but I'm guessing what he's trying to do is trying to play that Drake style that I told you about. So with these ghosts, he can, you know, as soon as the enemy army moves, he's able to capture a village, right? He does have the mobility. Also, he's able to create a wall. He's able to surround units. It's great. Having lots of ghosts is great for that mass of death unit strategy. But him losing 3 villages here, because it seems like he kind of gave up on these villages, unless he's thinking, oh, if I move this ghost somewhere here, then this ghost can, you know, can wrap around the enemy army, can give me a more comfortable position in shielding a bit and seeing what's coming at me, perhaps counter pillaging. It just feel more comfortable, because I'm not going to get this village back instantly anyway. There would need to be some time. Probably my best bet to get this village back is at night, when my adepts deal a lot of damage. So he might be thinking in this way. Now it's really interesting to see how many villages Orc will get. My guess is that he will put this quick strong grunt on 60%. He will have to do so. It's just a grunt at the end of the day, and there's only one magic damage dealer that can reach this grunt. Then my guess would be that he would put the Wolf Rider. I'm not sure about the so Cremember did play first, so it means that this skeleton would only deal 5/3 next turn. So I dare say that this Wolf Rider is safe on 50%. He will not die to the skeleton no matter what. So this grunt here, this wounded Wolf Rider here, this Orcish grunt here, and this Wolf Rider, I don't know, wherever he wants, depends. He wants to support these units, or he wants to also support with counter pillaging or defending against pillagers. He can be a bit like a middle of the road placement, defensive placement, aggressive placement, perhaps even here extremely aggressive, trying to counter pillage in case the leader is going. So there is the wolf there. No reason not to recruit the wolf there. Now it will be very interesting to see what he does against these ghosts. So he can't just keep recruiting wolves, because these ghosts will simply use ranged attacks on wolves, slowly draining experience and slowly advancing towards level 2. So I wouldn't say that wolves would be the best choice here. I would say pure grunts and archers. Now how much? So he would be able to recruit a grunt and an archer, and this is what I would advise: grunt archer and grunt archer for a very long time from now on, because he needs the grunts versus the adepts, and also grunts are not that terrible when retaliating versus ghosts at night, whereas trolls, absolutely terrible. Trolls are built for feeding ghosts. So yeah, he absolutely needs grunts and archers. Okay. So he still needs to place these wolves. Must be thinking really hard about it. And in terms of, I mean, one way would be to bring this wolf back in terms of dealing with this ghost, or perhaps moving the archer on the hill. Has to be careful on this side, but I'm not too worried about these ghosts actually pillaging, simply because his villages seem to be way back. Yeah, if this ghost goes unchecked here, then that would be absolutely peevish to deal with. But other than that, I'm guessing he should be fine. So there's the Orcish archer. Now he should be recruiting the grunt as well, and yeah, grunt right on cue. And then not really sure. I would personally keep this grunt here. It's strong, resilient. He won't die during the day to whatever undead throws at him. The only problem here would be if the grunt does get surrounded by these ghosts, and this ghost is building towards level 2. But still, I think that he should be fine. Yeah, it's a strong, resilient grunt after all. So okay, you see, when they do hit, Orcish archers quite effective versus these ghosts. He needs, in this case, he needs a wolf to help out. He can't just leave this ghost go here and then again. He absolutely needs, and my guess is that he will also bring this wolf in a more defensive or perhaps passive aggressive position, but this wolf needs to be around here somewhere to be able to deal with the influx of units. He is absolutely fine, to be honest. If he can just try to contain these pillaging ghosts moving forward, if he can contain them somehow during the day, shouldn't be that difficult, then he's in a great position to slowly overwhelm Undead with units. I mean, he has 11 out of 16 villages. That is an insane amount. That might be a bit too daring for my taste. I mean, I understand, yeah, sure, it's day coming, but there is an adept here, and he always has the possibility of hitting 2 out of 2, and that's already 16 hit points gone. And you do have 2 ghosts which can slowly drain your hit points, and if the bat last hits, suddenly you have to deal with a level 1 bat, which is an absolutely fantastic pillager, and you have nothing to counter pillage because you've basically fed your wolf rider to undead. It can also be a case of, look, I want all the units to come here towards the center. It can also be perceived as sort of this strategy. But if these units come towards the center, I mean, considering they are ghosts, considering that the adept is not quick, so not that it's not that terrible that the adept would be in the middle of the map, but these ghosts in the middle of the map can quickly reinforce south, can quickly try to do an enveloping maneuver in north, try to stop the retreat of these orcs once they have to deal with mass adepts coming from Cremember. So ghosts in the middle of the map is not that bad. It's not a position in which you would want to lure your opponent. Center of the map is quite a great position to be in. If he would lure them here north while he was doing a massive attack south, then yeah, I would say that would be a positional strategic move. Whereas in the center, this Wolf Rider here is just a punching bag to me. I mean, look at the Vampire Bat. The Vampire Bat can just go on this fire, on this campfire, and then he would have free reign on all these villages. This wolf here is not that impactful, if you ask me. Simply because, yeah, he's putting pressure on this village, but this village is quite close to the keep, very easy to attack. Then him going around, he won't have access. I mean, sure, there is this village which, we all have to agree, it's quite difficult to defend, right? Although, if you think about it, the leader is here recruiting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can hit this village in one, and he can have some ghosts to supplement that damage. So he's already gotten, I think, the juiciest spot in terms of villages. Trying to raise the stakes here, it's basically high risk, low reward, I would say. And look, the 2 out of 2 hit from the adept, and suddenly this wolf is food, right? He's not going to be able to kill this ghost. He doesn't have any units to reinforce. It's just not going to happen. So now the ghosts have so many options here. This ghost can go one here, and then go towards these juicy villages. These 3 juicy villages, extremely difficult to take back. Whereas this wolf here, again, the reward has already been captured. This wolf should have helped with these ghosts, should have helped with this bat. I don't feel that getting basically blindsided by his very successful incursion north is going to bring him any new significant benefits. Sure, it's very nice to see 5 out of 16 villages, and you can say, oh, I'm going to make it 6 out of 16 now, or next turn, or next turn, but you're going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4 villages to these pillaging ghosts and bats, and there's nothing you will be able to do about it, because your units that counter ghosts are inherently slow. You could recruit wolves, it's just they won't do much against these ghosts, so you can't really fight in terms of mobility. You cannot keep up with undead in terms of mobility, so all you can do is try to run around and hope that you can fill the map with these archers and grunts, and try to basically cover enough ground that the ghosts have no way to run. But this would take time, considering how the fight bottom went. I'm guessing that he is planning on pressing the attack bottom, trying to repeat this incursion, trying to force a response from undead. But again, undead is in the middle of the map, getting 2 units, getting 2 kills with his ghosts. Probably going to come up with 1 or 2 level 2s out of this failed skirmish. Really poor decision from Orc to place these units here. So he's going to come up with 2 level 2s, 2 upgrades, let's call it this way. I keep calling them bat level 2, but he's level 1 technically. So he's going to come up with lots of leveled up ghosts from here, and he's going to be able to hit these reinforcing units pretty hard. I mean, sure, you might get this skeleton low with the initial wave, but the second wave is going to be decimated by these ghosts. Interesting move with the skeleton. I'm guessing he wants to keep his units together, probably trying to get these units back at one point. I would personally not worry about this anymore, considering how things went bottom. I mean, this is basically raid land, so these villages are ripe for raiding, so he can kill these units and then press his units diagonally here towards this incredibly difficult to reach area, and then he can basically balance things out gold wise by holding these villages here. And then once he balances out the gold difference, the village difference, the income difference, then he can worry about these villages. It doesn't really matter. Once you fill the map with ghosts, I feel that Undead has the upper hand. It's difficult to position in a very messy game where villages are split like that, and there are lots of fights going in different pockets of the map, and ghosts have so much mobility, and especially with level 2 ghosts there, which are real damage dealers, it's really incredibly difficult to place your orcish units on terrain which offers a bit more defense, and then try to protect them so that they don't get surrounded by ghosts. But when you try to protect them, the unit that protects them cannot get on good terrain. So for example, this forest here, how are you going to protect against surround, right? You need to place a unit here, so that's not going to have the bonus from the terrain defense. So I do think that strategically Cremember should just go here, grab these villages. It's basically a run in the park. Now, don't worry too much about this side, right? I mean, he was a bit lucky here. Orc was. He can go now on 50% and live to see another day. I'm not particularly impressed by the skirmish from neither side. I feel that strategically Undead should focus on clearing these units in the middle, and then basically grabbing these villages. Incredibly difficult to get to, especially look at the orc leader. So I'm not impressed with Undead trying to slowly send units on this side. Also, I'm not impressed with Orc overcommitting. So this Wolf Rider should not have been here. This Wolf Rider should have been helping out. Look at the bat. Look at the bat. Look at this ghost. This Wolf Rider would have done so much more helping out. So it's fine. You got 3 villages. You're not going to be able to hold on to those 3 villages because a simple skeleton is going to hit your Wolf Rider, right? So you won't be able to hold on to these 3 villages, but you will be able to hold on to 2, which is again absolutely massive. But you could have 2 Wolf Riders helping out against the Raiders. I would say much more, much better use of these units. Now, regarding Orc, he doesn't have many options now because this area is kind of lost now. He's going to lose slowly but surely. He's going to lose 4 villages. So what does he do? Does he slowly send units? Does he leapfrog units top? Does he instead send units here trying to mount yet another attack? He can't even recruit Grunt and Orcish Archer at the moment. He will have to recruit 2 Grunts or just 1 Orcish Archer. So you see, it's he has difficult choices ahead of him. Just sacrificing these units bottom, it's not helping out at all. He could basically try now to go all in on these ghosts. That would be his only chance. Hope that he hits 2 out of 2 with the Orcish Archer. I'm not even sure how much damage he deals, but I can even check, I guess. So we get fire 10%, so he will basically deal 10 if he gets lucky, and then try to last hit with this Wolf Rider. Hope that he gets the kill. So that's his only chance to slow down the pillage. Otherwise, I don't know what he could do. Again, a really poor move to bring the Wolf Rider on this central castle. Now, in this area, he's kind of stuck, I feel. There's not much that he could do. He can't really move this Orcish Grunt. He needs to heal. Also, there's also the danger from the bat. the band could just recover this village, and then you're under the dilemma: which is better? Is it better to have a village stolen here or a village here? Why do I have all my units on this side? Lots of questions. I would say that these units here in the middle were basically the biggest mistake that Orc did in this game, and it might be the mistake, the nail in the coffin for him. Anyway, we shall see how he plays. It's a very difficult choice, no need to speculate, and I just wanted to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, while Orc is trying to make up a plan to get out of this difficult situation. Just want to talk to you about a potential tournament. I know I mean the holiday season is coming, so last year I did try to organize something like a fixed time tournament. So games would be between I'm not even sure the times I proposed, but it would be like 2 hours fixed interval daily, and everybody would be basically forced to play at those time intervals, so that scheduling is simplified and clear for everybody. But I believe the time interval I set last time was quite late, so I'm thinking this year that I could maybe perhaps try a different approach with a time interval which is a bit more accessible for everybody. So I'm not really sure what was. I can try to Google it and see if I can find it. Yes, so basically it's probably, I'm going to put it in the stream. I'm going to put a link here to the fixed time tournament. So there was a discussion. Let me see if I can post. Seems I cannot post. Anyway, I will put it after this live stream completes. So maybe I can show you guys what I am talking about. So okay, so maybe we can try to do this. So as you can see here, we have this link here, so discussion fixed time tournament, and I'm going to put the link later on. And yeah, I hope you guys can perhaps join, and I will make sure to change the times to something more manageable that more people could attend. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to organize it, something quick and easy, and I will, if people do make an effort to join in that time interval that I'm going to propose, then I would make an effort to cast. Of course I can't promise, but I'll make an effort to cast as many games as possible. Once I update the forum page with the time interval, probably I'll make a very short separate video about this. Anyway, not much is happening here. It seems like our Megac1 player has given up on this game. My opinion is that this game is already over, but it can only, it could always develop into something more interesting. So we shall see. This is the problem with Wesnoth, because when one player stops playing, there's nothing to look at, right? There's no action going here. You can only speculate and discuss. So that's the problem with games that are not with a timer But in the tournament that I'm proposing, there will always be a timer, and there will always be a fixed time, so people can just join and watch at that particular time. No reason to deal with complicated schedules, and hopefully I can gather more people this time round, and maybe we would get to organize it. So I shall see you, because there's nothing happening here, unfortunately. So again, if I were to bet, I would say that Cremember is going to win this because of this poor play in the middle, because he will be able to recover the village disadvantage. He would be able to basically rebound from that, and he already has lots of kills, and this will only increase with these two stray units in the middle. So I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, like this, and I shall see